Hello, everyone. Today we have Nordregio researchers Wøien Meijer and Alberto Giacometti, who work with topics such as resilience, smart specialization, skills development, and digitalization. How are these research areas affected by pandemic?
Yeah, so back in 2018, when we started studying regional resilience, we had no clue that the pandemic would trigger a major shock for the global society and economy. But what we have learned is that regardless what triggers a shock, we should always expect one. So without exception, every region studied across all the Nordic countries has experienced major shocks in the past that have destabilized every part of the system. But we have also learned that every shock has brought innovation, has triggered innovation in business structures, in new business ideas, but also in the organization of the public administration and social behavior. So this is where we should put the attention now, to identify what are those innovations and where is this changing going, and to take advantage of that to be proactive in adapting to a new path. So these will prepare us for any potential threats in the future as well.
Well, I work on quite a few different things here, and I think when it comes to the different areas, I think we see that regions really need to work more on skills governance in the future, and especially when it comes to how they collaborate with labour market actors as well as the educational institutions. And when we talk about skills development, we also can't forget about the public sector actually in this case, because we need smarter governance. And what I mean by smart here is not just using the digital tools in order to actually make the regions work more dynamic and overcoming all the challenges that we have, but actually using it to kind of give the regions or enable the regions to have the relative autonomy that they need in order to prioritize and move on. So that's also smart governance. And I think when it comes to digitalization, which is a topic that I've been working a lot on, this crisis is really making it super clear that digitalization is not an option, it's actually a must. And it really sparks a conversation about digital access and the responsibilities that are connected to this. Because it's not about the population that already has this access, but it's actually about the population that doesn't. So we need to consider that 1 or 2 or 3 or 4% that don't have that kind of access to high-speed internet. And finally, this is an area that both Alberto and I have been working a lot on, which is the cross-border areas. I think in the future, not right now perhaps, but in the future, we need to look at the cross-border areas, and it will be a question then about understanding risks, and it will be a question about understanding reconciliation, how we overcome this, and also then real collaboration in the future.
And talking about the future, how this research would help us to deal with the post-pandemic period.
Yeah, so now in the midst of this global pandemic, resilience has become ever more important, both as an analytical tool to understand the situation, but also as a tool to design mechanisms of response. And these studies that we will conduct in the future should inform us about the weaknesses in our system and what measures should be taken to build resilience, and probably at different territorial levels. But these measures should not be about going back to normal or the pre-shock circumstances. The world changes, and so our regions, and we need to take the necessary measures to adapt to that change.
And I think all of our research areas really, these are the key enablers to identifying how we do move on, as Alberto is saying here. And you know, we need to build our knowledge base and for decision making, and this is also why we're here. And this is our job. We are the knowledge brokers, and we can help in this job basically. And we can contribute then with our pan-Nordic perspectives as well, which is also very valuable to learn from the best possible cases around and seeing how and what characterizes, for example, a resilient region, which kind of underlines everything.